What's up, guys? Let's see if I can get this. I have to lean back. Hey, guys, thanks for coming in. So we are less than an hour, like 50 minutes away from the alumni game between North Carolina and Kentucky. I just wanted to get on, maybe share some of my thoughts, get some of your thoughts. Give me a thumbs up, heart, something, make sure my sound is good, everybody can hear me good. And start leaving your comments. What do you guys think? Oh, we got a Kentucky fan. John, go ahead and get out of here. No, it's okay. He's a cool Kentucky fan, at least. I know who that is. So, yeah, definitely not enough pros playing for our side. And that's kind of what I was going to say, is, it could get pretty ugly. And I can go through, I pulled up the roster for us. We have Harrison Barnes, really the only pro playing right now. We have James Michael McAdoo, who's on a NBA roster, but hasn't really played. Rashid won't be there. Oh, Crystal, breaking news here. Why won't Rashid be there? Because Rashid is on the roster. Rashid and Stackhouse. Plus, Rashid was like the only big man really on our roster. So please, if you know, why won't Rasheed Wallace be there? Missed his flight? Really? He was going in today? Do I go to any Tar Heel basketball games? I do. I try to get at least one a year, one every couple of years, or a couple every couple of years, whatever it is. It's been 2 years now since I've gone because our kids are still little. But 2 years ago, I went to a couple of games. Actually, one of them was the Belmont game. And then I live in Tennessee. We actually had to fly home the next day on the same plane as the Belmont team. So that was just kind of rubbing salt in the wound. But yeah, going through the roster, Harrison Barnes really the only professional we have. James Michael McAdoo on an NBA roster, but not really a pro. And then Rashid and Jerry supposed to be there, but according to Crystal, Rashid will not be there. Right, Crystal saying a lot of them couldn't get cleared by their teams, which is kind of crazy because so many UK players are playing that are in the pros now. But to go through the rest of our roster, we got Shammond Williams, Wes Miller, Bobby Frazier, Dexter Strickland, Leslie McDonald. So yeah, a lot of guards. I mean, really, Rashid was our only big man. I know Harrison played some four for the Warriors this year, but yeah, Rashid was really only our post player. I guess McAdoo is, as well, but more, if we remember his UNC days, more of a jump shooting and driving big man than post up big man. Whereas you look at the UK roster and Willie Cauley-Stein, let's see, the other Terrence Jones is kind of a big guy. Karl Anthony Towns, DeMarcus Cousins, Trey Lyles, Dakari Johnson. So really, if we want to keep it close, and again, yeah, this game is for charity. It's, whatever. Doesn't matter if we win or lose. But to be on ESPNU and then get blown out doesn't really help us either. So, which is interesting. Yeah, it'll be definitely interesting. Hopefully, you're about right on, Crystal. Hopefully not embarrassing. Hopefully we hit a bunch of threes because we're going to have to do that. And yeah, and like any kind of pickup game, it's going to be transition, so hopefully that helps us. But the other thing I was going to say, it's interesting that all the UK players are Calipari guys. Now this is going on kind of the follow-up or the end of his fantasy camp, and former UK guys don't really care about Cal's fantasy camp besides helping the UK brand and whatever. But definitely interesting. They're all younger guys and Cal guys, whereas we have, again, a lot of them Roy guys because he's been there a while and everybody else can't play. But Rashid and Jerry passionate enough to come back and play as well. Even Wes, I believe Wes was there. Shammond, I guess, another one that's not a Roy guy. But Shammond Williams coming back. Wes Miller, I believe, was there before Roy. He was there with Roy, but so yeah, we have a little bit more of a mix. Of course, harder for us. Jerry is supposed to be coaching. I thought Harrison Barnes was technically our coach. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Another reason it'll be interesting is because the number of guys we have, especially if Rashid's not playing. I think it was 9 with Rashid, And so yeah, we're down to 8 now. But I just wanted to jump on. The other thing I wanted to say on this Periscope is kind of introduce people on my Periscope or people there to Blab. If you haven't heard of Blab, it is a, here we'll flip this around. Flip it around, there we go. It is a live streaming app as well. I pulled it up on the, it works on desktop and there's an app, which is pretty cool because Periscope is only on an app or only mobile, and then you get something like Google Hangouts, which is only a desktop. So it's both, plus it is, you can see here, there's open seats. You can actually have 4 people in a room discussing, talking, all that good stuff. So just post out there. I don't have anybody in here. I didn't really expect anybody to, but threw it up there. And so my plan, if you heard my previous Periscope, which I don't, yes, Blab, that's exactly right, Crystal, BLAB. If it's on desktop, you go to blab.im, blab.im. Otherwise, if you look in the, let's see, there's only an iOS app. There's not an Android app yet. But if you go in the App Store on iOS phone, you look for that kind of logo, that little owl thing there. Obviously, just search Blab. You should find it. But yeah, you can start it from a mobile device. And so my idea is during the basketball season to be doing halftime, post-game shows. Halftime is a little bit shorter, so I thought maybe using Periscope for that. And then post-game, getting on Blab here and getting other fans in and having more of a discussion post-game and talking about the game and upcoming stuff and all that stuff. So yeah, that's my thoughts, but I've wanted to introduce, awesome, Crystal, yeah. I mean, I can't do a lot here. My kids are about to wake up and the game's going to start in less than an hour, but absolutely, you can come in here for a minute if you can. If you go to my, absolutely, we'll need a girl. Crystal, I am going to make sure that I'm following you right now here on Periscope. And then I'll hook up with you on Twitter as well after this. But definitely need girls in there. Yes, in season is what I'm kind of thinking. I didn't really think I'd get anybody in here anyway. But yeah, mine looks really dead. It says we've had 3 people in here. But I didn't really, I just do basketball. I mean, I watch the games, the football games, but not as into it. But yeah, basketball is kind of my passion. I actually have a basketball podcast. If you haven't heard of it, UNC Hoops Talk podcast is in iTunes. It's on Stitcher. It's anywhere that you get podcasts. Also on YouTube. But yeah, so halftime I want to do Periscopes, kind of talk. Maybe in pregame, I don't know yet. Still have time to figure it out. But then postgame, just getting fans together, talking about the game. It's kind of shaky video, so I'll stop showing that. But yeah, discuss the game and get some engagement, get some interaction going. And I kind of say for my podcast is the goal is to unite Tar Heel Nation. So that's really my passion. Is I'll talk UNC hoops anytime, any place, anything, with anyone. Yeah, obviously didn't shave and get all ready for this big production here, but I just wanted to get thoughts on the game, give my kind of 2 cents, and also introduce Blab to people. I think I'm going to try to save this Periscope, and I also am trying to record this Blab. Blabs are, if you record them, you get the video, the audio, and embed code. So I wanted to test that out as well to see how that would work. I want to put my Periscope up on YouTube here and hopefully get more people introduced to Periscope and to Blab. But both places, Blab and Periscope, it is all Tar Heel Dan for me, as well as Twitter, Vine, Instagram, pretty much anywhere else. Look for all Tar Heel Dan, and that should be me. I don't think there's anybody stealing my name yet. So So yeah, if there's no other comments, questions, we'll have to see how this game goes. Hopefully we have a good showing, and yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting for sure. But I don't know, maybe if I get time tonight or tomorrow morning do a follow up. But also there will be a new podcast sometime in the beginning of this week. I don't know if I'll get to it tomorrow, as my Monday Tuesday is kind of busy. But beginning of this week, a new podcast should be up again. UNC Hoops Talk podcast. Check us out. You can get a direct link from my Twitter at alltarheeldan. Several other places. Hit me up, but I'd love to connect with any of all of you Tar Heel fans. And until next time, go Heels.